processor can fetch and execute the program code from this memory region. Executable means if you are writing the code which you want to execute will be present in this type of area. That's why it is executable memory area. And shareable data in this memory region could be shared by multiple bus masters, and memory system needs to ensure coherency of data between different bus masters and in shareable memory region. Whenever you are going for the memory region wherever the data is present, if you want to transmit towards the another memory area or with respect to the some other memory regions, or if you want it for the program execution, then it will become a shareable memory area. Okay, whatever the data present in that memory can be shared towards the other memory regions where it can be used for the execution of the program or for the storage of the data or result storage. Anyway you can take it. Okay, and then next we have memory access attributes. With respect to that, we can see what all the regions come under this cache memory, what all the region comes under shareable, what all the region comes under executable. Okay, in that way we can see here. Memory access attributes for each memory region are as follows. Here you can see code memory region, that is from 0 to 1FFF. This region is executable and the cache attribute is write through WT. You can put data memory in this region as well as if data operations are carried out for this region, they will take place via the data bus interface. Write transfer to this region are bufferable. See, whenever code region is there, whatever the code region we have, that is from 0 to 1FFF, I think it is of 0.5 GB or 1 GB memory area. You can see calculate with respect to the hexadecimal to decimal region. Okay, decimal conversion. This region is executable always, and it is a cache attribute you can write through, and you can put data with this code memory also. See, whatever the program you are writing, simply is keeping the code in the code memory is not the option. You are storing the data also inside this code memory. Okay, but if you are accessing the data from code memory, then you will be using the data bus. Okay, if you are accessing the code, you will be using the code bus. Okay, or instruction bus. And here as I told, and data bus is used, and write transfer to this region are bufferable. Whatever the data you want to data or instruction, if you want to write it into the code memory, then you can write that data through buffering region also. Okay, and through buffering attribute you can write the data towards code memory. SRAM memory region, that is from after the completion of code memory, you have SRAM region, that is from 200 to 3FFF. This region is intended for the on-chip RAM, means on-chip RAM it is, and write transfer to this region are bufferable. Whatever the data, if you want to write it towards the RAM, then it can be done through bufferable attribute. And the cache attribute is write back, write allocated. This region is executable, so you can copy program code where here and execute it. See, this region, SRAM region, can be whatever the data you want to write it into this SRAM region, you can use using a bufferable attribute, and also you can do cache attribute. Cache storage means intermediate data or in continuously usable data can be stored in this SRAM region, and also this region can be taken as a executable region because you can copy the program code into SRAM and you can execute it in this region also. Okay, to increase the execution speed or efficiency, we can execute the program in SRAM region, memory region. Okay, next we have peripheral region, where memory address starts from 40000 to 5FFF. This region is intended for peripherals. The access are non-cacheable. You cannot execute instruction code in this region. Execute never in ARM documentation such as the Cortex M3 TRM. See, in peripheral region, it is intended only for the peripheral and the access are non-cacheable. Whatever the memory we have, it is not on non-cacheable and you can't execute any of the instruction. Here it is only used for the transmission of data from your peripherals towards the execution area or towards the Cortex M3. That is with respect to peripheral region. Okay. External RAM region. You have two parts of external RAM region I have divided, and you can see that it is from 60000 to 7FF. This region is intended for either on-chip or off-chip memory. Okay, on-chip memory can be stored in external RAM, or off-chip memory can be taken as external RAM. The accessible or cacheable, it can be accessible or cacheable, and can execute the code in this region. If you are copying the main program in this external RAM region, you can execute also. That's why this RAM region is cacheable and executable. And another part of this external RAM is from 800 to 9FFF. This region is intended for the either on-chip or off-chip memory. It can be for on-chip or off-chip memory. The access are cacheable, and you can execute code in this region. You can execute the code in this region. And next we have external device, that is A0000 to BFFF. This region is intended for external device and or shared memory that needs ordering, non-buffered access. It is also a non-executable region. See here in this region, it is acting as a shared memory and needs ordering on and non-buffered access. Here you can't go with the non-buffered access. See, if you want to store any data, then you have to stop the execution and other operations of external devices. Then only you can access this memory area. Okay, and it is used for the shared memory operation and non-executable device, a non-executable region, that is external device. You can't execute the program in this region, but you can share the data which is present in connected or which is taken from the external devices. Okay, and another part of external device in this region, it is intended for external devices shared memory that need ordering or non-buffering access. It is also a non-executable region, that is also same part. Okay, system region, where it starts from E000 to FFF. This is the last region. This region is for private peripherals and vendor specific devices. It is non-executable for the peripheral bus memory range. The access are strongly ordered, that is non-cacheable, non-bufferable. For the vendor specific memory region, the access are bufferable and non-cacheable. If you are going for peripheral connections, then it will be non-cacheable and non-bufferable. Means whenever the peripheral occurs, you have to stop all the execution and all the other operations with respect to that memory address. Then you have to store the data into that memory address. If you are going for vendor specific, then it can access as a bufferable part and non-cacheable. It is non-cacheable memory area with respect to system region. Okay. Next we have default memory access permissions. The Cortex M3 memory map has a default configuration for memory access permissions. This prevents user programs non-privileged from accessing system control memory spaces such as a NVIC. The default memory access permission is used when either no memory protection unit is present, or memory protection is present but disabled. Okay, these are the different type of memory access permissions. See, whenever you are going with respect to memory access permissions, always you need to have a memory protection unit. If memory protection unit is present, then you have given some of the instruction for that memory protection unit. With respect to that, it will work. Okay, in that way, we can see memory protection unit present. That will only give the permission. If you need to access that data, then you need a permission. In that way, we can see memory access permissions. This prevents user programs, that is non-privileged user program, from accessing the system control memory spaces such as the NVSC, nested vector, interrupt controls and all. Okay, and the default memory access permission is used when either no memory protection unit is present, or memory protection is present but disabled. Okay, it can access, see, user can access all the permissions related to memory if you don't have memory protection unit in your controller, or else if it is there but it is disabled, at that time only you can access or get the permission to access those memory address. Okay, if memory protection is, unit is present and disabled, sorry, enabled, the access permission in the memory protection unit is set up, will determine whether user can access or accesses are allowed or not. See, memory protection unit is present and it is already enabled, then you will be having some restrictions towards the user. He can access only the SRAM area, he can access only the data area, he can access only the application memory area. At that time only, at all those memory address only can be accessible by the user. That permission will be provided using memory protection unit setup. Okay, and remaining memory address can't be accessed by the user. That you can see in default memory access permissions, that you can see in the table memory access permissions. What all permissions we can give here? Vendor specific is the highest one. From we can come from code. Okay, you can get it for user program. You will get full access. SRAM will get full access. Peripherals will get full access. External RAM will get full access, and external devices will get the full access part. If you are going for ITM, read aloud means you can read the data from that. Write ignored except for the stimulus port with user access enabled. If your user access enabled for this peripheral connection, then only this can be executing. You can execute the, or you can read the data from this memory address. Okay, DWT, debug watchdog timer, that is or we debug write transmission, that is for, that is blocked. User access result in bus fault. If you are accessing that debug part, it will give bus fault instruction, means you can't access that one but you tried to access that. FTP is also blocked and it result in bus fault, and NVIC it is blocked. User access result in bus fault except software trigger interrupt register that can be programmed to allow user access. If you have a any interrupt register which is accessed, which gives the access towards the user, then only you can access that NVIC. Internal PPV, that is blocked, TPIU blocked, and ETM blocked, external PPV also blocked, and ROM table is also blocked, and vendor specific will give you full access, because vendor specific is related to external users only. For that reason, you have to give full access towards the vendor specific memory region. Okay,